guys, what's up? This is Sasha for President, back with another video. Today we're talking rapper Future. Allegedly, it's been reported that Future has now decided to give up all rights to his son Future Zaire. As everybody knows, this kid has been all over social media with his mom Ciara and her husband Russell Wilson, and they have a new daughter and they look like a complete happy family and everything like that. And recently Russell Wilson just got this huge multi-million-dollar football contract, and the fans are just eating it all up. And Ciara and Russell Wilson also now just started a multimedia company where they're going to be doing some sort of television or social media. They smile when the camera turns on. We don't know what their life is like outside of that. However, people have caught a glimpse of what her life was like when she was with Future, and it seemed like Future did not want to give up his single life. Although he did ask Ciara to marry him, he still was running around with other women. As we see now, Future has lots of women, even though he seems like he's with one woman. Every time we turn around, another woman is pregnant. And honestly, I don't know how many kids Future has at this point. At one point I thought he had 7, but then somebody else just said that they were due any minute to give birth, so he may have 8, but then that's 8 that we know of. Who knows how many other women are out there that we don't know, that's not like popular on Instagram or whatever. We have no clue who these women are and how many kids he actually has. So I'm just gonna round it out to say Future has about 10 kids, and it seems like although the child was named after him, he doesn't seem to have a bond with this child, because from the time this son was born, it seems Ciara has been battling him to spend more time with his own son. And even though he says don't believe what you see and don't believe the hype, don't believe the different rumors, she even had to take him to court because she was like, look, my son has visitation with his dad and he's calling me, or when I call to check on him, his dad is nowhere around. His dad is off on tour somewhere and leaving him with the grandmother. And it's fine like 1 or 2 times, okay, he has to work, but every time you have a scheduled visit, he actually does not see you at all. So then what is the point of the scheduled visits? So Ciara had to basically go through the courts to get that adjusted, because she's like, I'm sending my son over here thinking that he's with his dad, but then come to find out he's not with his dad at all. And I understand some people say, well, you know, at least he's spending time with his grandmother, and that's fine, that's great, but the whole point was for him to be with his dad. So it's like, that's cool that the grandmother gets to see him, but at what point are you, dad, gonna step up and see your son? And I could even see if he made some kind of arrangement. I see people bring their kids on tour or have the kids visit them in certain cities when they're on tour. He didn't even do that much. He could have hired like a nanny to be with his son, you know, to bring with him like while he's on tours, but he made no type of provisions for his son. And basically, it seems like what he's saying is, I have a bunch of other kids to worry about. I'm not going to focus so much on this son. This not as fair to my other kids. And I'm tired of battling back and forth with Ciara and her new husband. That's almost like you want somebody to feel sorry for you. We don't feel sorry for you, Future, at all. And this is why Ciara and Russell Wilson look so much like the perfect family dynamic. It's because we actually see them spending time together with the kids. They have busy lives as well. Russell Wilson is a pro athlete. He's training all the time. He does a lot of charity work. Ciara does a lot of charity work. She's modeling and doing all types of things. Every now and then she does music. They have their own lives as well. You're not the only person busy. Ever since Ciara got with Russell Wilson, that's when Future had all the problems in the world with Ciara. I really believe he thought that he was the man and that she was just going to be running behind him because he's Future, and it seems like that's what the other mothers of his kids were doing. He was the breadwinner and they looked to him for all the answers, and they waited on him and they let him do his thing. Whether they got mad about it or not, they still put up with it. Whereas Ciara, she's the only famous one, so she had her own money and her own thing going. She didn't technically need him. All she needed was a little grieving time for their relationship once that was over, and then she was bouncing back and moving on. There's so many men who wanted to date Ciara. It was just gonna be a matter of time. And honestly, even though the other women aren't famous, I don't know why they don't think like that also. Like, you don't need Future, even if you're not famous. There's somebody out here for everybody, trust me. And if one man is not treating you well, I'm sure you could find somebody else who will. There's so many men on this earth, it's ridiculous. None of these women, none of them, famous or not, need him. But his son does need him. And the fact that it's been alleged that he's even considering giving up on his son because he feels like he can't compete with Ciara and her new husband, so forget it, I got other kids, y'all can have this one. If any of this is true, that is really, really messed up. Because I don't care if you were poor, destitute, whatever, you should not give up on your child because of your ex-woman's new husband. I really think he's jealous. I really believe that. I mean, I know it's petty that the fans put footballs and stuff under his comments, and that can be annoying, but that has nothing to do with your son. And your bitterness towards Ciara moving on to bigger and so-called better still has nothing to do with your son. When she moved on, that's when all his bitterness came out. That's when all his little comments and his little innuendos in his songs and all that stuff, that's when all of that came out. She was every name in the book after she got with somebody else. But before that, it was all fine. And so many times it seems like Russell Wilson and Ciara have taken the high road, even though people say she's being petty by having her son pictured with this new man and, you know, playing football with him and stuff like that. I don't see a problem with that, because you would think as a good mother, you will want a man that gets along with your child and that is not all about himself or y'all relationship, and incorporates your child into the relationship and does things like play football with him and, you know, teach him different things, you know, take him under his wing. You will want a man that's another father figure, not to replace his father, but if you're going to be in my life and we're serious and you're going to be my husband, yeah, you would be a father figure to my child because you would be his stepdad. So why not have a stepdad that's actually involved and loving and wants to be playful and that father figure, that extra father to my child, especially when the father doesn't seem to want to be bothered, no matter how many chances you give him. And he just gets mad and bitter when he gets called out publicly for it. Then she's wrong and she's everything but a child of God when she calls him out for it. But she's not even calling him out like in the media or anything like that. She's calling him out in court. And because TMZ and all these different news outlets, they have their sources in the court system who tell them everything that's going on with every celebrity, they put this stuff out there. And the only thing Russell Wilson did was defend his wife. He still didn't say anything disrespectful. And he also told Future, you could keep that child support money. Like, we good over here. We don't need to beg you for anything. And to me, that's not being petty. That's being a man. That's being a husband. That's being a good stepdad. Like, you know what? I know I'm not your dad. I really want you to have a relationship with your dad. But if he doesn't want to have a relationship, that's fine. I'm still here for you. And I make enough money for all of us. So we don't need to beg him to be there. And I feel the exact same way about anybody, whether they're famous or not. I feel the same way. I tell people that all the time. If your deadbeat father or your deadbeat mother does not want to be in your life, do not beg them. Do not, because you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to beg or tell anybody. The fans should not have to get on Future to be a father. And this kid, I forgot how old he is, but he's at least probably like 5 or something like that. And all these years, no matter what the fans say, he still has not really been there. Like, once a year he does his little annual photo op, and that's it. And he's saying his son doesn't really know him. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Because just like Ciara is taking Future to court, Future can very well take Ciara to court and say, look, I know I'm an entertainer, but I really want to see my son, and I'm going to fight to see my son. We need to work this out, whatever it takes. But he's not doing that because, like he said, man, I'm not even worried about that. I got other kids and all this stuff. Okay, so worry about your other kids and don't worry about this kid if you want to give him up. Don't say anything else about him. And while he's practicing with Russell Wilson and learning football and stuff like that, if he grows up to be a great football star, don't come back later like Shaq's dad, like LeBron James' dad, and all these different dads who are not involved. Don't come back when the child becomes a superstar, an actor, an athlete, or whatever, and then try to come in and say, oh, that's my boy. No, it's really not. Because remember, you gave up your rights. Remember, you walked out. Remember, you weren't there for visitation. You said he doesn't even know who you are. That's your fault because you are the parent. It is your responsibility, regardless of what the mother does. It is your responsibility because I guarantee you one thing, if Future Jr. was with Future Sr. a lot of the times and Ciara felt like she couldn't see her son, I bet you she'll be fighting to get her son. She's not going to sit around and say, oh, well, I give up because I have another daughter. No. So as a man, you shouldn't do that either. He's half yours. And the only thing that makes sense to me is that you don't really want to be there anyway, which that was my consensus from the start. You just wanted to be in a relationship with her. You just wanted her to be around while you still be with other women. She just so happened to get pregnant just like everybody else, and you don't really care about the baby or all the other children. That's why you just keep having them with all these different women, because you don't really care about that at all anyway. You just care about doing the do and being this so-called superstar and living this little superstar lifestyle. Very carefree. But one thing about that is guaranteed is that what goes around comes around. And at some point, you are definitely going to pay for all of this that you're doing to your son. That is not cool at all. And I promise you, Future is going to be very miserable. As this child grows up, we're going to watch his journey. And I promise you, he's probably going to do great. And he's going to have to watch this kid grow up and be great and look just like him. But he has no relationship with him. And it's going to eat him up. It's going to be a constant reminder. He's named after his stage name. And he looks just like him. It's going to be just like 50 Cent and his son. You got a clone walking around here and no relationship. Nothing but bad blood. So that means this negative energy that he's getting from these fans, this is going to last a long time, because people have not gotten off of 50 Cent's neck over him and his son. And his son is now somewhat an adult, but every single time 50 Cent does anything or doesn't do something that he needs to do pertaining to being any kind of father or saying anything, he say anything that triggers the public, they go in on him about not being a parent to his son, about not having a good relationship with his son. And I can already see that this is exactly what it's going to be for Future Jr. And that's sad, because no kid should have to go through that. I don't care how much money Russell Wilson had, and I'm sure he's going to be a great dad, but that's not the point. It's going to always be like in the back of your head, like, yeah, he's great and everything, but he's not my dad. How come my dad wasn't there? Especially when he has enough money and means to be there and he's still not there. I could see if Future was like a lot of people say their dad was strung out on drugs, or they was poor and struggling, so their dad wasn't there. Future literally has no excuse other than selfishness. So like I said, if all of this is true, one way or the other, the universe will deal with him, and there's no need for revenge. There's no need for Ciara nor Russell Wilson to say anything negative, to rub it in his face, to gloat, to do anything. Don't do any of that. The universe will deal with him. I just pray for this little boy that he doesn't grow up bitter, that his dad is this famous guy that doesn't even want anything to do with him, because that is a hurtful feeling. No matter how great your stepdad is, no matter how great your mother is, that's not the point. It's a stabbing feeling that your own father is this famous guy that everybody knows, and he doesn't even want anything to do with you. That's ridiculous. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Do you think this Future is doing the right thing? Because some people said that. Do you think that Future is doing the right thing by giving up his rights to his son? Or Do you feel like the right thing is to be a better father and fight for him regardless? Which side are you guys on? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.